Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I have 34 different beauty items that I have used up, including some things that are just not for me. Let's put it that way. So there actually are some things, which is very unusual for me, that I didn't use up that I'm totally gonna pass along to somebody else. Very coincidentally, the last time I did a beauty empties video, I had 35 items. So I don't know how I managed to get so close, but I did. My basket got a little full, so I decided it was time to do this beauty empties video. I'm gonna go over everything by category, like cleansers and sunscreens, etc. I will also be linking all of the products in the description box, you guys. Let's get into it. So first up for cleansers, and I'm not gonna spend a huge amount of time talking about this, but I've gone through many of these. I always make sure that I have backups of this. It's the Garnier Micellar Cleansing Water, and this one is the waterproof version. I used the non-waterproof version for years until I started doing more makeup, especially for my channel, and doing more bright eye looks. And this is really the only thing that I've found that really gets off some of my mascaras and my tougher pressed pigments. There's definitely an uptick in people using cleansing balms. I have not found one yet that really does the trick for me, that gets off my more stubborn mascaras, my more stubborn pressed pigments the way that this does. So I'm a huge fan of this. I keep throwing these in my beauty empties. Kind of a boring product to talk about, but I literally cannot live without it. But I do want to talk about one cleansing oil that just didn't work for me. I've used, oh gosh, I wish you could see. It's like right about there. It's the First Aid Beauty Cleansing Oil and Makeup Remover for Sensitive Skin. I wanna say I probably picked this up at Ulta. This didn't do anything. It's an oily texture. I mean, I guess the texture's fine, but it didn't take off any of my makeup. Am I doing something wrong with this product? I followed the instructions, which says to use on a dry face and rub in more stubborn areas. It just wouldn't take off my more stubborn eye makeup, mascara. I kept trying to use this. It just doesn't work for me. I've seen some people on YouTube use cleansing balms and it seems to like take everything off. I haven't found the right one. I don't think this one is it. I don't recommend this. This one I'm gonna pass along to somebody else. I probably picked it up because it was safe for sensitive skin, but yeah, don't recommend that product at all. If you have more stubborn makeup to take off, it doesn't do the trick. Very similarly, the Elemis Pro Collagen, this is the rose cleansing balm. They do sell like the non-rose version, I think on Sephora's website. This was awful. This not only has the strongest rose scent of like any product I've ever used, it also did literally nothing. It didn't take off any of my makeup. All of my mascara, all of my eye makeup was still there. I tried using it twice. I thought this one was gonna work because it's not like an oil like this, it's an actual balm. It didn't work either. And I can't stand the scent. The scent was way, way too strong. I ended up getting this, I wanna say it was in like the Vogue advent calendar, so I didn't buy this separately. I'd love to hear in the comments if you guys have tried this one in like the original version, or even any recommendations that you might have on cleansing balms that I could potentially try out. This just wasn't it for me. So I'm gonna pass that along to somebody else, maybe who doesn't wear as much eye makeup as I do, because it wasn't getting it off at all. And speaking of advent calendars, I had a ton of advent calendars that I opened, like beauty boxes that I opened at the very end of the year, around Christmas time in December. So I had a ton of minis. I wanna say about like half of these products are probably minis from those advent calendars, and I still have a ton to go. I kind of liked it. I thought it was not only like filling and supplementing some of the products that I use, but it gave me a chance to test a ton of different things. I don't know if any one of them actually became my holy grails or my favorites, except one product that I'm for sure interested in getting the full size of. Everything else was kind of like meh, or just no. So this one is in the meh category. This was the Origins Checks and Balances. This is a frothy face wash. This is just a little tester size. It's just 1 fluid ounce. They do sell the 5 ounces for $27, and then they go up to 8.5 ounces. So it's not like a bad size or anything. And this actually lasted me quite a bit. I don't use like a ton of face wash, pretty much like a dime size. So this went pretty far, but it was really interesting. It smells just like mint. A couple of times I had to stop myself when I was putting this on because it genuinely smells like toothpaste. And I was like, oh no, is this like not face wash? No kidding, you guys, it smells just like Crest or Colgate mint toothpaste. That's exactly what this smells like. It froths really nicely, really gently. It's very hydrating on the skin. It doesn't dry you out at all. I wish you guys could smell this. It smells like I'm literally sniffing a bottle of toothpaste, a tube of toothpaste rather. It didn't break me out. It worked really well for all intensive purposes. I just don't know that like this minty toothpastiness is kind of my thing. I like my face washes honestly to be fragrance free, so probably wouldn't repurchase this, but boy, it was definitely interesting. I haven't found a product from Origins that I'm head over heels about that I absolutely love, but this wasn't bad. This was probably my favorite Origins product. I just thought that was interesting. I definitely wanted to share with you guys. I stopped a couple of times and was like, am I rubbing toothpaste on my face? Okay. The last cleanser I used was from Clé de Peau. This is the soft cleansing foam. This is only 0.77 ounces or 20 mils. They actually sell double this size, which is 40 mil for $28, which is actually less than I was anticipating it being for Clé de Peau. I like this one, but this one has one of those like old school scents to it. It's more nourishing and moisturizing. It doesn't like froth up or anything. It also didn't irritate my skin. It's more like kind of a moisturizing mousse, if you will. It also didn't break me out or irritate my skin at all, so I liked that. But yeah, it has one of those like old school perfumey scents, and I did mention I prefer not to have any fragrance in my actual face wash. So I will not be repurchasing the full size of this, but if you like Clé de Peau, like it actually worked. It was nice, it was nourishing, again, didn't dry me out or anything, didn't have a bad reaction. Some face washes, I can like immediately tell they're breaking me out. All right, let's move on into hair care. I had a couple of conditioners and a couple of masks. I picked up this is a mini size from Sephora. It's the Vegamour Grow Revitalizing Conditioner made with Carmitin. I can't remember how much this cost, but I want to say that this little mini size was a new release when I picked it up, and this is 1.7 fluid ounces. I use a ton of conditioner because my hair is fairly long, so I didn't get more than like 3 or 4 uses out of this. It has a really strong citrusy scent to it. I like the smell of citrus so long as it's not like in my face wash. I think this was nice. I wouldn't repurchase it though. I didn't find it overly smoothing on my hair. I am trying a ton of different products that have keratin in it or carmitin, like it's supposed to help with like healthy growth of the hair. I have really thin hair. Not only is it thin, but it's like thinning. And there was a period there where my hair was like actually like kind of starting to fall out. So I was targeting getting these products, but I also want the conditioner itself to leave my hair pretty smooth. I feel like this was fine. It just wasn't my absolute favorite as it pertains to products like this. There are 2 of them that I'm using currently that I prefer more than this. And I think both in like price point and the way that it leaves my hair kind of silky soft without feeling greasy or weighed down. This was just okay. Again, not intensely smooth for my super fine hair and not a big enough bottle for me to test whether or not it works in terms of like promoting healthy growth. So without like the extra shiny finish, it's just not something I'm interested in repurchasing. However, I have repurchased a version of this. This is the Keranique Volumizing Keratin Conditioner. This is supposed to reduce breakage, seal split ends, control frizz, and add moisture. It's supposed to have deep hydration for normal to dry hair enriched with keratin amino complex. This I've purchased in a different version that isn't volumizing. I would say that I'm just not a fan of like the volumizing. I think it makes my hair like more fluffy because it's so thin. And I think like fluffy is fine, but what I mean to say is that I almost feel like it induces extra frizz in my hair. My hair is so freaking frizzy, especially in this really humid climate. So I didn't personally love this particular version, and also I had to take this cap off. This is a really thick conditioner, and this hole is so small that it kept getting clogged because the texture of the conditioner is like so thick, and so I had to use the majority of this product with the lid off. I kept the lid just so that I could like come up and do a Beauty's Empty video, but I was reading the reviews on this and a lot of people are saying like, you need to make this hole bigger. I literally couldn't like squeeze it out. And the bottle is so hard. It's pretty difficult to like squeeze the product out of this little tiny hole anyway. So They could update the packaging for sure based on this kind of consistency, but also I don't like the volumizing version. What I will say though is that I do feel like this helped to significantly reduce my hair loss very specifically. And I've been using, again, a version of this consistently since I have been using this. So they're all meant to target breakage essentially and hair loss. And I do think that this works so much so. I feel like I bought backups or just different versions kind of this Keranique with 2 different bottles. I can't say that I recommend the volumizing conditioner, but I can say that Keranique is pretty good if you have hair breakage. So I do recommend that, and I have already repurchased it. So I don't think that's like, you know, trash. That's a repurchase for me. What I do think is garbage for me personally is the Bigger Love Hair by Sam Knight. This is something that I got in the Vogue Advent calendar, I'm pretty sure. And I haven't even used the whole thing. This is terrible for thin hair. Or for my hair type, or I don't know, maybe just my preference in general. I don't actually think you can get this in the US anywhere. When you go to their site, of course, it converts to US dollars, and this size right here, which is 50 mils, is $67. 67 US dollars. I'm like, whoa. This is a volumizing mask, which apparently is 2024's best winner by Cosmo for best hair mask. This smells like a pine tree, like a full-on pine tree. Like you're standing with a pine needle like right up to your nose. That's how strong this is. So it kind of gives you that green tea-ish kind of feel on the hair, but it made my hair go whoo. It wasn't like volume in a good way. For my thin hair, it just literally like made it unmanageable. It was like whoo. I mean, it did the trick. I just don't think it's made for my hair type. So this is trash. I'm gonna pass it along to somebody else. I don't even know anyone that doesn't have like thin hair in my family that actually might like that. I just don't think it's, again, made for my hair type. And being $67 for 50 mils, like for how long my hair is, I literally could use this with 4 uses and it'd be gone. I also really didn't like this. The Super Skinny Serum from Paul Mitchell. Again, I wanna say that I picked this up at Ulta. It's supposed to be silky smooth for humidity resistance. It's awful. It's like weighted, it's really thick. It just feels really thick on the hair. I use a lot of oils in my hair. I didn't use it today. I'm kind of feeling like I wish I did, but some of them are just so good. Like they really lock onto the strands of the hair and make it silky smooth. This genuinely makes me feel like I've poured vegetable oil in my hair. I kept trying it like different amounts in my hair, like maybe just a little bit. It's just super weighted. It's not for me. I just think it made it way too oily. And generally I'm somebody who would like hold on to this and just keep using it until I get through it, but no. No. Moving on, that's garbage. Let's move on into Bodycare next. I only have a couple of things for Bodycare. The first thing, and I have talked about this before, or this brand and this type of product on my channel before in Beauty Empties, and I have highly recommended it. It's the Onyx Bathhouse Foaming Body Scrub. I love these. I have so many backups. They're my favorite body scrub. But this mermaid one in Off-Duty, I don't know, Mermaid Goals, I guess, it didn't foam at all. And I've tried many versions of this from Onyx Bathhouse, and this is the only one that doesn't seem to foam. A lot of times I will get these at like TJ Maxx or Marshalls, but I also pick them up from Amazon a lot of times. At this point, I've tried a ton of different versions. This one is supposed to be coconut and lime. It just didn't foam. It was like missing an ingredient or something, and it was so oily. Whereas usually these are on the drier side until you start rubbing them in and then they start like foaming up. This was just like sitting fluid at the top. It was just very different from the other ones that I've tried. So I don't recommend the Mermaid Off-Duty. However, I recommend every other one. I don't know how many there are out there, but so far this is the only one that's ever done that to me. I have another one in there now, which is like a Halloween version. It's like, boo, I don't know, something along the lines of like Halloween, and it foams just fine. I will say though, with these, you guys, it is a very large scrub. It's not fine, it's not thin. It also like doesn't break apart on your legs. I really like a thick scrub because I use it for my legs mostly, especially like after shaving, so that my legs are like super smooth. And I like something that's a little bit more rough because I feel like it really kind of exfoliates my skin a little bit more, and like the backs of my arms. And if the scrub is too thin, I just don't feel like it does anything. So These are a thicker scrub, so if you don't like that, I can't recommend it to you, but otherwise, if you do, it's like the coolest thing ever. I love the foaming body scrubs. I'm basically addicted to those ones. I haven't been able to move on from them. Another little mini that I got was the Kopari Ultra Restore Body Butter with hyaluronic acid. This is the 1 fluid ounce. They do sell these at Ulta. I'm not even sure where I got this, but the 7.7 ounces is $36. They do carry also a 12 ounce. This has hyaluronic acid, prickly pear, and coconut oil. I really enjoyed this. I'm somebody who likes a really thick moisturizer, especially for my arms and legs. And this one was very nice, very thick, very rich, very hydrating, very lightly scented, not too fragranced. If that's something that you look for, I don't mind like a fragranced body lotion. It's all over the place. Facial cleansers, don't really want a fragrance. Body lotion, don't mind it. Also don't need it, but this is very, very lightly scented. It's pleasant, it's nice, it's not overpowering, and it doesn't linger. I think Kopari for me has been a hit or miss in terms of like the products that I've tried, but I don't think any of them have been bad, just not necessarily something that I would go back to, mostly for the type of product that it is and the cost of it. But I've liked everything that I've tried, or haven't disliked anything that I've tried from Kopari. So I do enjoy this. If you guys wanted to try the body butter from Kopari, I think it's a good product to use. This little tester is so silly. Like this is just absolutely ridiculous to me. This is a mini version at 0.07 fluid ounces from Clarins. It's the tonic body firming and tightening treatment oil. Not only is it supposed to like tighten and firm, it also claims to reduce stretch marks. It retails for $72 at 3.3 ounces. I know Clarins to be expensive, but you guys, that's crazy. And the fact that they put this in some little advent calendar, I thought this was going to be like a facial oil because it's so small. I mean, so small. But it's not. It's a body tonic. It was fine. I was using it like on my chest and I really liked it. It's not a greasy oil in any way, but how can you even test if you like this? Don't you add testers into things so that people like really like a product, like have enough time to like a product so they can go and buy the full thing? You're not even like allowing people time to decide if this is gonna work or not. So this is just a weird no for me. I have to back up a second because I missed one thing in the hair care category. This was the one thing that I was talking about that I really do like. This is my second mini that I have tried. This is the Virtue Alpha Keratin Restorative Treatment Mask. It's supposed to rebuild, strengthen, and silken. I had 2 of these, so I was able to give this like a solid test because there isn't a ton of product in here. So I think I got 2 uses or 2 or 3 uses out of this one bottle each time. So I think I've used this product 6 times total because I'm pretty sure this went into my last Beauty Empties. This is only 0.5 fluid ounces. This one, the mini SF4 sells for 1.7 ounces, which is $34. And they also have a 5 ounce. I really like this mask because it's smoothing also. It's hard to tell if one particular product that I use is the kind that's actually like restoring my hair because I use so many products that kind of do like similar things. All my masks that I use are pretty much restorative. The conditioners that I've been using are meant to rebuild. So in conjunction with one another, you can't tell which product is doing a really good job. I can just say that this is the kind of like smoothing hair mask that I really enjoy. So this is a recommendation for me. And 1 ounce, 1.7 ounces at $34, like I don't think that's terrible for a decent hair mask. So this is something I would repurchase. I did like that enough. I think it's probably like one of the few things that I would definitely go back and buy the full size of. All right, let's move on into skincare. I have quite a few skincare products. The first one I picked up is a full size of the e.l.f. Skin Holy Hydration Face Cream. This is fragrance-free with hyaluronic acid and peptides. It's made for dry, oily, and combination skin. So it's a thinner moisturizer, which I really enjoyed for the morning time. I always use a different moisturizer for nighttime. Sometimes I'll use a mask, and if I'm not using a mask at night, I will use a thicker cream, but I like something a little bit lighter for the morning time, and I think this was really nice, especially if you have a combo to oily skin. I feel like this is a really nice product that isn't too heavy or greasy in the morning time for under your foundation. So I really enjoyed this. Plus it's really affordable too. So this is definitely one that I would recommend and repurchase. And I feel like they've just come out with like a different version of this too. Haven't been tempted to try that just because I have so much backstock, but this is definitely something that I would repurchase. The next thing that I want to talk about, I have talked about before in my viral products that just don't work for me video. This is the Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dew Drops from Glow Recipe. I'm going to refer to this like I refer to some other products in its kind of category, which is this is a fan favorite. I hear a lot of people talk about this and like this product. I just don't find that it overly brightens my skin. I don't think it was overly hydrating either. I felt like it was one of those products that I was using to mattify because I felt like it was more drying on my skin. For its price point and for what it is, I feel like I can get this in similar products. Like the Inkey List has great products for niacinamide that are night treatments, that are day treatments. This is just over the cost of what I think niacinamide does. So I feel like it's more packaging than anything. The thing with Glow Recipe is though, even though it's slightly scented, it's so very light and it's oftentimes like very pleasant. So I never mind the scent of this. I just feel like it's overpriced and it's mostly packaging for the active ingredients in it. So that is definitely not something that I'm going to repurchase. Some of my favorite products from Glow Recipe is their mask. I'll throw up a picture here. I really enjoy that. I just used it last night. I think that for what it is, like it actually works, and it's definitely one of the few masks that I've tried of its kind that I feel like actually shows me a big difference. So it's not every Glow Recipe product, it's just this one that I just cannot figure out what the hype is about. The next one that I have is from Drunk Elephant. This is the Virgin Marula Luxury Facial Oil. Again, another product that's pretty pricey for what it is. I've only tested, I want to say like 3 or 4 different facial oils at this point in my life. There hasn't been one of them that I've disliked. The difference between this one and other ones is this one's very, very nourishing. It's like super smooth and rich, but still sinks into the skin without leaving your face greasy. I just feel like this one is richer than some of the other facial oils that I've tried, so I do like this. I was using this a lot in the winter months. I feel like I pulled this back out around November timeframe, and I was using it all the way up until I fully used it up, which I want to say was probably like a month ago at this point. So I really enjoyed this product. I'm not resolved to repurchasing this like indefinitely. I would still like to test other facial oils in the colder months to see if there's something that's relative to this in terms of performance and richness that was just more cost effective, but it is definitely a good product from Drunk Elephant. The next one was a little tester. This is the lactic acid treatment. I didn't even look this one up, but the Good Genes lactic acid treatment, I want to say is like really popular. This one is only 0.17 fluid ounces, but I'm using a larger size of this right now. I have to say, again, it's kind of one of those products that's really expensive that I just don't find or notice it doing much. This is supposed to be an exfoliating product, and I don't know that I feel like it exfoliates my skin. Again, I'm actively using this. I have a different version in a larger size downstairs that I'm using nightly, and I still don't feel like it does anything extra. In the absence of using it, it does anything. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on any of these products and how they've worked for you. I don't find that this does anything over kind of single-use exfoliators. This is another little tester. I want to say this is from Freya. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, and this is the first time I've ever come across this particular brand. Again, just a little mini that I'm sure I got in one of those like beauty boxes. And this one has 0.27 fluid ounces. This is the Recover Me Restorative Night Cream with Argania Active Complex. Again, I like to differentiate my creams, my night creams versus my day creams. So I was using this at night. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it at all. It's a thinner cream as far as like night creams go, and it's hydrating and all of that, but it smells like patchouli. And I was pushing through this. I don't like patchouli anywhere. I don't like it in my perfumes. I don't like it in my skincare. So that one is a hard no for me. I have talked about this one. It's the Kiehl's Powerful Strength Line Reducing Concentrate. This is a vitamin C that is 12.5% vitamin C plus with hyaluronic acid. I have used so many of these little minis now, so it's not just like a single little tester that I've used. Oh, it has some extra in it. Oh man. I have used this many times. I feel like this was the last one that I had though. These are intense. These are so intense. They're almost warm when they go on the skin. It's a really high concentrate of vitamin C. And I feel like we should all be using vitamin C in addition to like ceramides and peptides for skincare. The thing is with this, the price is just incredible. It's $79 for 1.7 ounces. I definitely think I notice a difference when I'm using this. And I understand the price with this because I have not found a vitamin C concentrate that is 12.5% yet anywhere else. And they might make it, I just haven't found it. A lot of the vitamin C's that I find are like 5 or 7, but 12.5 is definitely pretty strong. And I like a lot of Kiehl stuff. It's just, again, I'm not resolved to buying this product for the 12.5% of vitamin C, where I kind of feel like I can get like similar effects from like a combination of other skincares that are just less expensive than Kiehl's is. Let's talk about some eye creams. So I have one from the Inkey List. I have quite a few things from the Inkey List that I'm currently testing. This is the retinol eye cream. But for the most part, a lot of the active ingredients in the stuff that comes in the Inkey List products is very similar to the stuff that you find in a lot of other more expensive brands. And I like to use retinol eye creams quite a bit. I will use like a normal eye cream, but a lot of times I'll specifically look for a retinol eye cream, especially for like right around here on my like crow's feet to try and target those things. And I love the Inkey List price point. I mean, you just almost couldn't get more cost effective at Sephora. This is like the least expensive skincare brand that Sephora carries, maybe even less expensive than their own skincare brand. And this is made to be used like in the PM. I feel like I was using this in the PM and the AM. I use eye creams in the morning and in the evening. I didn't find like this irritated my skin. I never find retinols irritate me ever. I don't know what the percentage of this is because it doesn't say on here, but this is not my favorite retinol eye cream. It's thin. It's very thin, and if you like a thin eye cream, that's fine. I like something that's a little bit richer, a little bit thicker. I don't feel like this really reduced any of the lines around my eyes. I would like to use something richer and stronger than I think this one is. But if you're somebody who's sensitive to retinols and on a budget, I definitely think this is a good product to test out. I preferred this one a little bit more. It's the niacinamide and caffeine eye cream from Kopari. This one is the 0.17 ounce, and the 0.5 ounces retails for 36 bucks. So again, on the pricier side, but not bad. This one is definitely richer and thicker than the one from the Inkey List. This one just has niacinamide and caffeine in it, no retinol or anything. I just like the richness of this, and that's my personal preference. Not that either of those are bad products. Another night cream is from One Kind. This is the Dream Cream Nighttime Moisturizer with squalene and rosehip oil. This one is how many ounces? 0.33 fluid ounces. The full size, which is 1.7 ounces, retails for $40. So this is actually a pricier nighttime moisturizer, but I loved this. It's thicker and it's richer than, let's say, like a thin cream like this. It's so very lightly fragranced. It's just so pleasant. I thoroughly enjoyed this. There's nothing else that it needed to do. I love products that have squalene in it because I seem to get along with a lot of products that have squalene, and I kind of notice a difference. My skin definitely looks more like glowy and hydrated when I use squalene. So I thoroughly enjoyed this. Again, it's kind of one of those, like, it just pops out of nowhere. It's a little tester that I somehow got my hands on, either from my advent calendars or even my husband's like man's beauty box that he used to get. And I thoroughly enjoyed this. That was a little treat for me. This was another tester that I got in the advent calendar from Vogue. It's the Black Rose Cream Mask from Sicily. It is Instant Youth Smoothing, Plumping, and Brightening. So this was something that I was using at night. And this is 0.33 fluid ounces. The 2 ounce size of this retails for $200. It is so freaking expensive. It's a nice, rich cream. However, the scent of rose is so strong. Again, this was one that I almost couldn't get through because it's just so fragranced. It's supposed to be smoothing, plumping, brightening, applied 2 to 3 times a week. I was using this like every night. It's fine. There's just no way I would spend $200 for 2 ounces of anything. Not at this point in my life. Maybe not ever. I have some collagen gel eye pads that I want to talk about next. These are from a brand called AMNH Skincare. It's the Starry collagen gel eye pads. They're supposed to be for anti-aging, anti-wrinkle, and reduce dark circles. I love the idea of collagen in anything. So I'm all about collagen, especially for under the eyes. These retail on their website for $18, and I believe this is a 5-pack. Yes, 5 pairs in this box. You can also get these on Amazon. They're decent and they're hydrating, but if you leave these on too long, they burn the crap out of my under eyes. So I don't know what that's about. I'm assuming there's something in here that definitely irritated me. Aroma? I don't know. They also have mica in them. Crispus powder. Something in here was definitely irritating my under eyes when I was leaving these on for the amount of time that they tell you to leave these on, which is 30 minutes. I like the idea of collagen eye pads. Yeah, it was just that these I could only keep on for about 15 minutes before I started to feel like a little bit of burn. I don't know what that is about. So I actually don't recommend these. I don't think they're supposed to burn you. All right, let's move on into sunscreens. The first one that I have is the RMS Supernatural Radiant Serum with SPF 30. I want to love this, you guys. This one is in the shade Light Aura. RMS has 3 different shades in this line, this one being the lightest one. This is thick. It is super duper thick, and it's a really strong, I want to say like eucalyptus-y aromatherapy scent, which wasn't my favorite. It definitely leaves your skin a little bit glowy because it has kind of a tint to it. It's like a pink tinge in this one in Light Aura. I don't care for a really thick sunscreen on my face, especially because my skin is like combo oily. I prefer something a lot thinner with the same or more SPF. I think there's probably a lot of people that like this product. It's just, it's way too thick for me. It's even like kind of hard to rub in. It's such a thick consistency. I ended up ditching this for the face, and I ended up using this for like my chest and neck and arm area because I could not stand the consistency on my face. If you like something that's thicker and you like a little bit of glow, then I think this is nice, but the glow doesn't last. Like once this kind of dries down, I didn't notice my skin glowing. And if you can stand that scent, then it's fine. That's not a repurchase for me. I had 2 testers or minis from Lancome. I had the Aqua Gel Defense Broad Spectrum SPF 50. This is actually a primer and a moisturizer with SPF in it in one. I love this. 1 ounce though at Sephora retails for $48. This one is 0.33 fluid ounces. So 1 ounce is like not a lot, especially because I feel like I go through sunscreen at a pretty decent clip. I'm working on like a bigger bottle at the current moment, especially for like my chest and my arms, but I was only using this on the face because it's a primer and a moisturizer. Anyway, I actually really liked this. I talked about this, I want to say in my last video, that I like that it's like a moisturizer, a sunscreen, and a primer all in one. I liked the thought of that. I was enjoying using this. It is scented, but for Lancome, I kind of feel like it's a lot less than a lot of other products. The product for me was still so good. It doesn't leave a white cast. It's thinner and it sinks into the skin really well, and I think it did a good job. This is actually one product that I would definitely consider buying the full size. I say that, but like $48 for 1 ounce, you will almost always catch me trying to find something less expensive. So I liked it, but I don't know if I would go out of my way to spend that kind of money on 1 ounce. I also tested this product from Lancome. It's the Renegerie Lift Multi-Action Ultra. This is a just sunscreen. I think it's like sunscreen and moisturizer in one. It's supposed to be a lifting, firming, and dark spot correcting cream. I was just using this as a sunscreen, so I was also using a moisturizer when I was using this. I also really like this product. Different scent to it. They're both fragranced differently, but I like both of them because they're a thinner sunscreen that doesn't leave a white cast. I feel like sunk into the skin really well. This particular one has been discontinued. Now they have an SPF of 15. They no longer do the 30 in this version. This is even more ridiculously expensive, probably because it's supposed to be a correcting cream for lifting, firming, and dark spots. And this one retails at 1.7 ounces. $135. So it won't be something that I end up purchasing at full price on my own, but I still really enjoyed it. I want to move into primers. I've got 2 primers. The first is a mini from Tatcha. This is the liquid silk canvas. I've talked about this, like putting this in a project pan. I've had this product for a while. It's fine, and I think it blurred, but it blurred for a short period of time. It mattified, and also for a short period of time. So this is not something that I would repurchase. I like it, and I think if you're looking for kind of a blurred, like smooth, like powdery finish kind of texture for a primer that's nice, but they also make products like this. Like the NYX Marshmallow Primer is pretty similar. I want to say the Angel Veil from, I think it's Wet n Wild, is kind of also similar to this. So I think there are less expensive products out there that do this, and for that reason I wouldn't repurchase it, but I enjoyed it. It's just that when I'm reaching for a primer, when I'm even using one at all, it's generally to mattify and pore fill, which I think this only does moderately well. The next one that I have is the Essence Prime Like a Boss eyeshadow primer. This is kind of a dupe, I think, or was meant to be a dupe for the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. I think this is fine, but I still think the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion is one of the few that are like universal and clear, that don't tint, that I feel like actually don't make my eyeshadows skip. I think this was decent, but it definitely, depending upon the brush or the eyeshadow or the pressed pigment, sometimes my shadows would skip even if I set this down. So this is not something I would repurchase, even though this was like super duper cheap. I had 3 makeup products that I wanted to go over. So the first one is from One Size. It's the Brow Kiki Micro Brow Defining Pencil in Soft Brown. I love this. I love it. I am always trying to get away from the Benefit Precisely My Brow. So I'm always on the hunt for like different brow pencils. I can get away from that one, or even ones that I like that are more expensive than that one. And I think this is only a few dollars less expensive than the Benefit Precisely My Brow, but I still really like this. Part of it is not only like the formula, but a lot of times it's about the shade. The shade is hard to nail down when you're trying to do like a cool toned brown or even a blonde that isn't too warm toned. So this one is actually in the shade Soft Brown, which I really like. One of the reasons that I am stuck on using the Benefit Precisely My Brow has been because the shade match in 2.5 was so good, but this one is really, really good. The one I'm wearing right now is the one from Gucci, which actually has some warmth to it, which I want to say is in taupe. So it's not perfect for me. The Benefit Precisely My Brow on 2.5 is definitely better, but this one is awesome. It's pretty long lasting. It's very similar formula to the Benefit Precisely My Brow, where it's in between creamy and kind of dry, so it's not like overly slippy. For example, if you guys have used the one from Rare Beauty, that one's like really, really slippy. That's a very like emollient pencil, whereas this one isn't, but it's not overly dry. So I love it so much. I already have a backup. Where did I get this backup? I don't even know. I ended up getting Blonde so that I can test this shade, because I feel like that soft brown, I could have even gone like lighter. I feel like it works for me, but I wanted to try the Blonde to see if this one was like great for more natural days. I don't know, it might work for me. It's definitely a different shade, but I did love this formula enough that I wanted to get this. I think I bought this at the last savings event that they had, just because I knew I wanted a re-up of that. So I definitely highly recommend that particular product. And the best thing about One Size is usually his products, like they lock down. They're good for combo oily skin or long lasting makeup. And that's one of the reasons that I feel like I get along with quite a few One Size products. I finished off the Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. I want to say the more I use other setting sprays, the more I kind of appreciate this. I don't think this is like a lock down your makeup, it's not going anywhere kind of spray, but I feel like it isn't sticky. It doesn't mattify, but it helps the longevity, but I also feel like it's refreshing. So I feel like even though it's an old product, it's still decent. The sprayer isn't bad either. I feel like I've decluttered so many setting sprays, which means I haven't loved a ton of setting sprays that I've tried, which takes me kind of back to how I feel about this one. And I think it's decent. I actually think that it had hype for good reason. I almost never use setting sprays, so it took me like a long time to get through this. But if I was out of setting sprays, I definitely would consider repurchasing this. The next one that I have is the little mini from Hourglass. This is one of the Veil Translucent Loose Setting Powders. I enjoyed this. I ended up taking like the sifter out. I just wouldn't repurchase this, especially for the summertime. The best thing about this, I want to say, is how blurring it is. It locks down my makeup for 3 hours, maybe. I just feel like it was a nice, finely milled setting powder that wasn't overly drying, and it was definitely very blurring. But I am always looking for powders that are more intense and more heavy, and so for that reason I wouldn't repurchase this. I don't think it's bad, and I think it's meant for people more so with like maybe normal to dry skin and somebody that's looking for mostly blurring. The last two products and final category that I have are perfumes. I have never done any reviews on perfumes, so I'm very, very excited to talk about these. And I have so many perfumes in my collection right now that I'm testing, little minis. Actually, both of these are like travel size, those are minis. So the first one that I have is from Burberry. It's Goddess perfume. I want to say when I got this, it was a brand new release at Sephora. And this little guy right here is a mini, and it retails for $39 in this size. The notes in here are vanilla infusion, vanilla caviar, vanilla absolute, and it's supposed to be in the family of warm and sweet gourmands. Oh, my dream scent. It is so pleasant. It's got a little bit of sweetness from the gourmands, but it definitely leans on the warm side with that like vanilla base. It's my perfect scent, you guys. And the only thing is I don't think this lasts for a super long time. I actually don't ever reapply perfumes, and I don't wear them every day. So I would prefer this to be a little bit longer lasting, but sometimes the longer lasting ones definitely are a little bit more intense, and sometimes they can irritate me. They can kind of give me a little bit of a headache. So if you're somebody who has sensitivity and loves that warm but sweet gourmand vanilla base scent, this is awesome. You know what? I actually might purchase like the full size of that, like not just the mini, because I actually did go through this in what I consider pretty quickly. One I would not repurchase is the Coach Wild Rose. I got a set for holiday. They came out with 3 or 4 different minis. So the 1 ounce size of this is $74, and this is 0.15 fluid ounces. So, okay. This is supposed to be a woody floral, red currant, wild rose, accord, and ambroxan. So I have noticed that stuff that has ambroxan in it, I do like quite a bit. Those are scents that I definitely gravitate towards. You can smell the woody, the floral. It's kind of like a warm floral scent, which again, I do like. I think the name Wild Rose, I think the description of it, it comes off very apparent in the scent. This is strong. This is very, very strong. I don't think you want to use like a ton of this. And it's kind of one of those that if I went in too heavy, it's so pungent that it would give me a headache. Even kind of like sniffing it is a little intense for me. It definitely goes straight to my head. So that's the reason that I wouldn't repurchase this. I have 2 other little mini Coach ones that I'm working on. I went for this one first. I'm not even sure why. I guess I just grabbed like the first one that I had there. I think this is just too intense for me. This lasts a lot longer, but whoo boy, just taking this cap off, I can feel it in my head. So that's kind of just not an interest to me to wear a perfume that like impacts my head quite as much. Anyway, you guys, that was a longer video. I know I talked quite a bit about these products, but I guess I had some stuff to say. So that was my 34 beauty empties and or shit that just doesn't work for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. I always welcome your feedback and or comments. I'm out of here for today, you guys, and I hope to catch you all in my next video. Bye, guys.